and welcome to Real to Real. This past Wednesday marked the beginning of the Lenten season. The 40-day season of prayer, fasting, and almsgiving began on Ash Wednesday and ends at sundown on Holy Thursday, April 6th. For centuries, Catholic Christians have marked the beginning of the season of Lent by receiving ashes on their foreheads. This tradition has its roots in the Old Testament, where wearing ashes was a common sign of repentance for sins and a sign of one's humility before God. Since Lent is a season of penitential renewal through prayer, fasting, and almsgiving, it's appropriate that this ancient sign marks the beginning of the season. This is a time in the Christian calendar to prepare, to get ready to celebrate Jesus' resurrection at Easter. Many know the tradition of abstaining from meat on Fridays during Lent, but there's also a call to practice self-discipline and fast in other ways throughout the season. Excluding Sundays, the season lasts 40 days. The length of Lent is rooted in the biblical usage of the number 40. 40 is typically indicative of a time of testing, trial, penance, purification, and renewal. In the New Testament, 40 days is the length of Jesus' time of trial in the desert in preparation for his public ministry, proclaiming the gospel. During this season, the giving of alms is encouraged not only through monetary contributions, but in giving of one's time and talent as well. Joining me now is Springfield Bishop William Byrne to give us some insight and words of wisdom as we begin this annual faith journey. Hello, Bishop. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Sharon.
So, Bishop, why is the season of Lent so important in our spiritual journey?
Sometimes you have to lose something to realize how valuable it was. And so the process of refocusing, giving things up, is to help us concentrate on what's really important, getting ourselves back to basics in our faith and removing distractions that keep our eyes off of the Lord and on our vocations as baptized Christians.
Bishop, in your Instagram message on Ash Wednesday, you encouraged us to engage in actions that will draw us closer to God. What are some ways you might suggest?
Well, the classic three are almsgiving, fasting, and prayer. And so we give things up for Lent is fasting. We make sure that we concentrate on our prayers a little more each day, and then almsgiving. But I say this Lent, I'd like to encourage everyone to invite someone back. We know so many people who, after the pandemic, after COVID, stopped going to church. They just got out of the habit. So this is an opportunity for us to welcome someone back. I think if we could get one person to come back, each one of us, it would be the most magnificent Lent ever.
And of course, Lent also is associated with almsgiving, and Catholics can practice that through their support of the 2023 Annual Catholic Appeal.
Yes, there's so many ways to give. You see people on the street, but you don't really know what's going to happen to that money. Whereas with the Annual Catholic Appeal, it's responsible almsgiving. It's making sure that we give and then know where that money is going to be used most effectively to help those in the greatest need.
Well, thank you so much, Bishop Byrne, for joining us today.
Thank you, Sharon.
More information on the Annual Catholic Appeal can be found at diospringfield.org.